I've started recording, so you can start. Yeah. So,
All right. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to kind of a quick session where we get to introduce us to. Sorry, confirm if you can hear me properly. Can someone on the call confirm if you can hear me properly so that I won't be talking to myself? Okay. All right. So, for the next 1 hour thereabouts, we are going to do a quick introduction to what Starknet and Cairo is all about. Now we're not going to go deep, because we can't actually finish everything there is to know, in 1 hour, but we will kind of give a very, very general overview of what it's all about, and maybe, hopefully, we'll get to pique your interest on this, and we can always improve on what we've learned here today. So right now, I'll be sharing the slides I prepared for this session, so that you too can vibe along with the session. I am hoping that some of us, at least, we are with our PC so that we can actually do one or two, like hands-on, because we'll be installing the wallets, and hopefully we'll get to write our first program, our first Cairo program. We're not going to be doing much on contrast today, but yeah. Okay, right now I'll be sharing um, the slide I prepare, and we'll see how far we can go with that. Okay, copy. So is in the Encore comment section, so we can all open that up, and yes. So let me start sharing my screen, and then we'll go from there. Um, how would you share? Okay. Okay, let me just share everything freely. All right. Can you see my screen right now? Um, I need a thumbs up if you can see my screen, so that. Okay, Vicent. Okay, Rita can see my screen. Okay, Vicent, are you raising your hand for something else, or you're just like confirming that you can see my screen?
I can see the screen.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'll be going back to this place, and let me quickly refresh this so that we can. So we're getting started with Cairo, and that's like the the whole point of our session here. So Cairo is actually a programming language. I know most of us must have heard of Cairo, that's in Egypt. So, okay, someone's mic is unmuted. Okay, so this is actually not that Cairo that we've been hearing, since we are little. This is like a programming language that is said to be um, a Turing complete programming language. You know, Turing complete means it can solve anything you you give it. Of course, given enough time and resources. By the way, this is my name. and okay, blockchain developer. So I had to vibe with the current trend about chat GPT creation of stores. I think this is cool too. So this is the agenda we have for the day. We get to understand what Starknet is all about. Then a little bit of just do comparison between Stack and Snack. Now this is like I'll get to it in a minute. Then talk about Cairo overview, what a valid roll-up is, then smart wallets. So but first of all, I would like us to like install something called Scab. It's not here, but that's something we need to install right away so that we can debug or some of us, okay, who might, okay, is that one person or is this for everybody? Say somebody say they can't see my screen. Is this a general issue, please? What about now? Someone can unmute and actually speak, please. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I can
Everybody
see
is
it.
quiet.
I can see your screen.
What
I
about
can
right
see your
now?
screen.
Can you see? What about right now? Can you see
Yes,
what I'm sharing?
yes,
Okay,
yes, I
Rita,
can see it.
can you confirm you can see what I'm sharing? Today's agenda.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, let's move on. So I'll simply open a new tab and say, we have something called Cairo book. Cairo book is like the dictionary of Cairo programming language. So you open it, like everything you need
You
is
need
actually
is
right
actually
there.
right here.
Why am I getting
Why am I
feedback?
getting feedback?
I can hear
I
myself.
can hear myself.
Okay, Vincent, can you
Okay,
like
Vincent, can you like
mute yourself?
mute yourself?
Let me see.
Let me see.
Wow. Okay. I think that's better. So by way of installation, now for Windows users, you have to use WSL, your sub Linux system, because the what we have here actually does not work on natively on Windows. So you can actually install Scab. Scab is like a package manager, you know, package manager. I don't know, like, are we devs or like, let me just get that idea. People on the call, like, how many devs do we have here, or is everybody here dev? Please, I will need
No,
your
no,
feedback.
not all.
Not
Not
all.
all. I'm not for now.
Okay, what about Rita? Are you a dev, a developer? Rita, can you? Okay, but the idea is this: Scab helps you to manage your projects. So if you want to install something, you use Scab. So to install it, you use this command here. There are a couple of ways actually. You can use, they just brought this out a few weeks back, stack up. There's a new way, but it used to be maybe with ASF. Okay, someone. Okay, okay. So, Victoria, if we are
Yeah.
not devs, I don't know how are we supposed to follow the session, or should we just do the overview of what the theory part of it and forget about the practical aspect of it?
Um, practical. Do a walkthrough, right? Because sent out. Um,
Because what?
just do a walkthrough. Do a beginner.
Okay,
I'll do like an intro.
Actually, everything I was supposed to do, everything I wanted to do is kind of beginner like friendly, like on the list. But I wanted them to like to try something out. But the feedback I'm getting right now is some of them are not even devs, like you know. All right,
That's
all right. Let's just introduce us to what Starknet and maybe Cairo is, and then we install the wallet. Okay. So, but to get this installed, I already have it installed on my PC. So if I run something like scab, scab, let me increase this a bit. Scab dash dash version. So you can see the version I have installed on my PC. Now, but for a very, very complete new person that wants to install this, you can actually use codes. I'll be using code space so that I can install it all over. Code space. Okay, let me see what happens. So code space is like a virtual environment where you can work with. Say get started, I guess. Even if you don't have a Mac or Linux operating system, maybe you're on Windows per se. So yeah. So, but by the way, you can actually do these things on your own PC. So first thing I will have to try out to see if Scab is already installed in this working environment. It's still loading. I will run Scab dash dash version. Come on, it's taking so much time. Scab. Okay. So Scab dash dash version. So you see command not found. So currently we don't have Scab installed. So what you have to do, I think I've copied the command already. This command right here, just copy it and then you paste. Allow. Is cancelled, please. No, don't cancel anything. Yes. All right. So this will install the necessary dependencies and working environment that we need to get started with our projects. Okay. So currently it's downloading Cairo 2.11.3. So now if I run that command again, I think I'll still get this error. But if I should, you can open a new terminal actually, or you run this command here and then paste. Someone's mic is unmuted. Okay, so you can now see that we have Scab installed within our working environment. So next thing, like I want us, everybody on the call to do this so that if I want to write maybe a simple code, I want to explain something, you can follow along. All right. Now let's get back to our slide. Okay. Now overview of Starknet, what Starknet is all about. We have this picture um, like representing, we have Starkware here, like the name says, that's the company, the parent company that has two main products. Now, one of the products is StackX, and the other product is Starknet. The two products are actually L2, so Starkware deals with L2s, they deals in L2, like that's their main forte. Now, the difference between StackX and Starknet is that StackX is permissioned, whereas Starknet is permissionless. Now, permission simply means you need permission before you can use it, right? So in this case, you need to pay for you to get that access. You need to make payments. I believe you can see my screen. Um, please confirm if you can see this. Okay. A thumbs up should do. All right. Thank you, Favor. So, okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you, Blessing. So, whereas with Starknet is permissionless. This means that anybody can actually use and interact with Starknet. So all of us on this call now can decide to, after we must have gotten a couple of skills, decide to build a smart contract, deploy it on Starknet, and we can interact with it. But you can, like I'm talking about, free of charge. You don't have to get permission from anybody. I don't have to make any payment. But if you want to make use of StackX, you are going to need to, make some payments and commitments. Now, Starknet Foundation is like a non-profit organization, like we've seen here, that is responsible, like they are in charge of financing and supporting the activities on Starknet. All right. So the next slide, now we're talking about what Starknet is all about. Like we said earlier, it is a layer 2 that is permissionless. Now, it's like the main aim is to scale Ethereum. Some of us must have maybe done a couple of interactions on Ethereum. You know how expensive interactions can be there. Like, when you want to pay for maybe send and eat or carry out a transaction. So especially when the network is congested, you can pay as much as $100, $50. I mean, for a transaction of maybe $2, and that is not okay, right? So that is where Starknet comes in to help scale, to make it more accessible. Even when it is congested, you don't have to pay that big amount of money that we usually pay. Now I say it allows developers to create scalable. That's what I've been trying to explain. Scalable and secure decentralized applications. So Ethereum is very, very secured, but it has scalability issues. Okay, you want to,
Nothing.
yeah, Blessing.
Look at now, CRA.
You say what? Okay. Uh, why is she unmuting herself? All right, so you say Starknet bundles multiple transactions off chain. We're talking about off Ethereum mainnet. So instead of submitting transaction one after the other, what Starknet does is bundles it together and submit as one. You can take this as an example. If you're moving from, say, Ibadan to Lagos, and you want to enter a car. Let's say you want to enter a bus. Now, if you are to enter the bus alone, the bus, like you're saying, you want to, only you will be in the bus, no other person, and you're going to Lagos, you realize you are going to pay more compared to when you have maybe up to 10 persons in the same bus and you're heading the same direction. So you say you bundle the same individuals that we are going to the same destination. This way, they get to Lagos in less time, and of course, they don't have to pay excessive, fee. For example, if from Ibadan to Lagos, you have to pay normally in a bus, you pay like 5,000. But when you want to, and that bus can carry up to 50 persons. If you want to like occupy the bus alone, that means you'll be paying at least 50,000. But if people come together, you bundle up, you pay your own 5,000, another person pays theirs. You see that we are reducing cost by so doing. Sorry. We are reducing cost and then improving speed of transaction. Like we said, it's like 1 hour journey. If we are to go to Lagos from Ibadan, say it takes like 1 hour. If the 10 persons can will decide to like go alone, that means it will take them at least 10 hours, because the boss will have to drop the first person, come back, pick the next person, and that person will still have to pay another 50,000. So we are paying more money and time is being wasted. This is what Starknet is taking care of. It bundles the transaction into one boss. We are all going to Lagos. We get there, we pay our fees like in cents. This way, everybody is happy. Now, Starknet achieve everything we've described right here using something called stacks. Now, stacks is a proven system, right? We don't have to actually understand, like, try to dig deep into what stack is all about, because to understand that your maths, like maths, needs to be sound actually. So, but the good thing about Cairo is that it was developed in a way that you don't even need to know maths in order to build these amazing dApps we are talking about. Okay. Now we have two major proving systems. We have the stacks and the snacks. But with Starknet, what Starknet uses is the stacks. So here we are trying to like compare and contrast like what this person has and what other person has, and maybe see, the difference. In terms of transparency, in ZK stacks, by the way, ZK means zero knowledge. So it means zero knowledge is another word. Let me try and explain that. So imagine I'm telling you so thing, right? That A is A. But then please give me a second. Second, please. All right, welcome back. So in the setup, transparency is needed in snacks. Some group of developers will come together. They will be giving something called a secret, right? That secret is what they will use to set up the system. Now, at the end, the secret will be discarded. But imagine if that secret gets into the wrong hand, that means the whole protocol will be compromised. Okay, now I was trying to tell you what ZK is all about. Zero knowledge means me telling you that A exists without actually giving you any information about A. Let's just understand it like that for now. Okay. All right. So in terms of proof size of stack is actually large. The large we're talking about is 400 kilobytes, whereas for snacks is very, very little. You can see what we have here, 288 bytes. Now, in terms of proof generation efficiency, stacks can handle like large computations compared to snacks. All right. So in terms of scalability, stacks is more scalable when compared to snacks. Then if security wise, stack is also more secured. Something they call quantum attack. Stack is more like you can resist it. At least that's the hypothesis here. But what is it called? Snack is vulnerable to that because it uses elliptic curve cryptography. All right. So this is like overview of what we've just discussed right in this session. Starknet is an optimized, it's optimized for ZK tech. Computing power is going up, whereas gas is very low, is going down. It is secured by Stacks and Ethereum. That's the security from Ethereum side. Remember, Starknet is an L2. So it is on top of an L1. And the L1 in this case is actually Ethereum. Now there's something you need to know. Starknet currently is actually aiming to scale Bitcoin as well, but that is still like a work in progress. So, but for the past couple of years, what it has been like scaling mostly is Ethereum. So that's why we are still like, talking, everything we're talking currently is still based on Ethereum, but scaling of BTC, that's Bitcoin, is a very, very much work in progress. So yeah, we should all look out for that. So you see, it's been tested for, tech has been around since around even before 2021. So it's been tested, like they say, battle tested tech, powerful programming language, that is Cairo. Now, finality for you to withdraw to an L1 is approximately 5 hours. I will get to see this, what it's all about in a minute. So, before we get into Cairo overview, I would like to quickly talk about let's talk about wallets. Okay, validity rollup. Like I said, Starknet is a validity rollup. It rolls bundles. That word bundles and rollup, they are just the same thing. Forget about the validity, the big words they're using. The validity here means if the transaction is valid, then it will be added to the rest of the transactions. You see that? So it has to be a valid transaction before we can pick it up. So far, I don't know if what we're saying is making a little bit of sense. Okay, I will need some feedback from us. All right, thank you, OT. Any other person? All right, blessing. Awesome. So let's quickly go back to the presentation. So I just explained what validity rollup is all about. Forget about the big grammar here. Like we say, it's all about bundling. That's for valid transaction. It will be bundled into a single proof and then submitted to Ethereum, and Ethereum will prove, okay, this is a valid transaction. So this process, like we said, it reduces the amount of data that needs to be processed on chain. Like we said, if 10 persons are going to Lagos, if they're in a bus, they will pay less compared to when it's only one person. So that is what this whole thing is all about. So it means that anybody going to Lagos is valid for that movement, for that journey. But people going elsewhere are not valid. So they can't be rolled up. All right. So in this case, we're actually using zero knowledge proofs. And then the thing that happens now is the VP, I will use VP for valid proofs. It convinces the state on L1 that so transaction that happened on L2 is actually correct without sharing details. Remember what we said, what zero knowledge is all about? You tell somebody that something is there without actually giving them details. But that doesn't make Starknet a private blockchain. No, Starknet is a public blockchain, so anybody can access it. So verification is very, very efficient. So valid proof is like synonymous to saying roll up. We use stacks, not snack. We already established these premises earlier on. Efficient proving and verification. Okay. So you can think of validity proof in this, while you're working on Starknet, you talk about computations. So the programs you write are computed. Like we said, there's a great, like a big deal of maths going under the hood, like taking place under the hood. But we, the developers, we don't actually have to worry ourselves about those maths. So we don't need to learn the mathematics before we can build on Starknet. But in actual sense, it's actually maths that you're creating. All right. So you can compare this valid proof. What it is to computation is, compression. When you zip a file, maybe your file is like 1 gig. If you zip it, you might get like 500 MB, depending, right? So just understand it that they work like that. Now the next thing is okay, finality. I think I've talked about this earlier on. So finality on for Starknet is like no, in Ethereum is 6 minutes, right? But with something called optimistic rollup, we have optimistic rollup and then validity rollup is up to 1 week. That is 7 days. You have to wait 7 days before you can make your withdrawal. But with Starknet, which uses valid proofs, you have to wait roughly 5-6 hours, depending on the state of the network. All right. So, but if you're making the transaction from Starknet to Starknet, it's approximately 2 seconds or even less, depending on the state of the network as well. So now we talk about smart wallets. So say what is a smart wallet? See what we have here. Smart wallets allows you to sign transaction with your face ID, your touch ID, like you can use your fingerprint to sign transactions. You can execute multiple transactions in multiple operations in one single transaction. So now on Starknet, every wallet is a smart wallet. There are no EOAs. I remember EOAs depends on the private key to do whatever it's doing. But unlike with what you have on Ethereum here, your private key does not determine anything. So it's built using account abstraction. Account abstraction in the sense that a lot of things has been abstracted for us. So in Ethereum, you have smart wallets and then the EOAs. So smart wallets are like smart contract accounts are smart accounts. You see that? So you can program different functionalities. Like that's just the difference between EOAs and the programmable accounts. So with account abstraction, you can easily program different um, capabilities, different features that you want. You have that power to bring it on. Like in Bravos, two major providers we have are Agent and Bravos. Bravos uses Face ID to sign transaction. Also, you can use your fingerprint, like thumbprint. You can also use something called multiple signers. The way it works is this: if you initiate a transaction on your PC and you probably have like they have three FA. This will prompt you to sign transaction with your phone and also your PC. You see that we are combining about two different things. So even if a hacker gets access to your wallet, the person needs a physical access before they can access your fund. You see that? So agent on his own has they have card like credit card I can use wherever you are. Like you can't actually achieve that with EOAs, but account abstraction makes all of these possible. Now, how account abstraction works is it's decouple. It separates the signer from the account. Let me check. Hope we are following so far and we're getting some value. All right. All right. Thank you, Oti. All right. So back to so like we said, account abstraction like separates the signer from the account. The signer is your device. It can be your phone or your PC. And that is where you have your private key. Then we have the account. Account lives on Starknet, right? So these two will have to come together. You say it holds your assets, verifies signature. Which signature is it talking about? Signature from your signer, from your device. Then it can also execute multi-calls. All right. So this is what it looks like in practice, right? You have your signer, that's your phone. Maybe it could be your phone or your PC, and your PC holds your wallet. So it will now invoke, like send a transaction to the account contract on Starknet. These three functionalities will be executed. First of all, it will execute, then validate. If the signature is valid, that's what we have to confirm here. That is valid signature. If it's valid, then it will interact with the target contract you're aiming to interact with. SNIP here simply means Starknet Improvement Protocol, I think. So it's just like what we have in EIPs, right? Ethereum Improvement Protocols. Like, yeah, I think EIP. I've forgotten. EIP. What does that mean? Improvement. So why is my network lagging? So yeah, improvement proposal, not protocol, please. So just something similar, but we now have a different name for it on Starknet. All right. So we're just saying the same thing all over and all over. Programmable logic in your account. It enables things like signer, multi-sig, hardware signer. Now hardware signer, then social recovery, whereby you can actually have maybe family and friends added. This is actually present in agents. Yes. Then session keys for maybe people playing games. This way you don't have to always sign every single transaction. You can just like dedicate a particular session to your gaming. You can enjoy very, very free flowing gaming experience. So currently the wallet supports these three elliptic curves. So this one is in your phone, then the normal guy with Ethereum, and then the stack, which is native. We already talked about stack, the proving system of Starknet. So this is the summary. Better user experience than regular wallets. I think I attached this because let me see if it's possible to get this. Something went wrong. What could that be? Okay, I don't know. Okay, let me see. If it's not opening here, can it open in my? All right, here. Let me see what happens. Okay. Someone was. You see that it got drained. Somebody says stagnant wallets, and the response is here. Okay, so like we're talking about user experience. This way, if you're on Starknet, you just sleep with your two eyes closed because your assets are always intact, no matter what, right? So then we'll talk about it enables account abstraction, talk about the separation of the signer different from the account, and then there are no EOAs on Starknet. Okay, I don't know so far. Do we have any question based on what we've covered? Now we are going to like take a quick look at Cairo and what Cairo is all about, and then maybe we call it a day or night at this juncture. All right. So, do we have any questions so far? Going back to where we are supposed to be. And was anybody like? Did anybody install the scab? I said we should install. Like, did anybody succeed? Did anybody succeed? I'm still installing it. Okay. Like, how far have you gone with it? And Favor, are you a developer? Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're going to write a basic hello world in Cairo before we end the call. Then what about the rest of us on the call? Are we installing Scab or do we need help? You just have to say something and then I will help you, provided I have the power. Ebel, are you installing it? Or about Onoma? Okay, Vincent said he's not a developer. Onoma, are you there? Are you with us? Okay, Favor, how far have you gone with the installations? You can actually unmute and speak. Do we
Okay,
need
so I am wait, let me check my terminal. It's not showing me a percentage per se. Okay, 71% done.
okay, okay. Okay. Ebe is not close to his laptop. All right, that's okay. You can actually try these things out very much later. And the call is recorded as well. So I believe it will be made available to us. And one more person, what about Onoma? I've not heard from you. So okay, do we need background knowledge for this class? Um, you know, it depends. It depends. Of course, you get the material. Let me just send it down here. Cairo book. Cairo book is one of the best. So I'll copy this and send to the call. This is Cairo book. That's the material, like you see installations and everything you need actually to get started with Cairo is right there. So but as for background knowledge, so the thing is this: if you have maybe a prior knowledge with working with Solidity, you know y- your life might be a lot easier when it comes to working in Starknet. That is number one. We talk about learning curve. So also Cairo, like we see very soon, is more of it looks like Rust. So if you have a prior knowledge of Rust programming language, picking up Cairo will be very, very easy and very, very fast for you. But then if you don't have prior knowledge of Rust and you are not into Ethereum, you're not doing Solidity, but maybe you have other programming language experience, maybe like Python or C++, C Sharp, whichever one it is, Cairo, you can actually learn it on its own without, um, it's not like a must that you need to know Rust before you can learn Cairo. See, so the background, trying to talk about the background knowledge that is required. What else? So, but the thing now is somebody that is kind of fresh, brand new, somebody that do not have an experience in Ethereum, and you don't have Rust background. It will require more work on your part to um, get started with the whole thing we are doing. But then the main question now is it doable? Obviously, it is doable. So it depends on how motivated and how inspired you are. I don't know if that answers your question, Vincent. Um, okay. All right. So while we wait for Vincent to confirm, I'll go back to the slide and then we'll continue. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So meanwhile, if you're working with Cairo and you encounter any issue, no matter how small the issue is, you can always reach out for help. That's how amazing the Starknet community is. Right. So it's not like you don't have to, feel ashamed that, okay, this is all right. All right. I think your network is a bit slow. This doesn't like take that much time. I believe we all saw it on the call. Like when I installed it, it was like less than a minute or thereabouts. So, but it's okay. Just take your time. Yeah. So, like I was saying, the community is very, very helpful. No matter how small the bug or blocker is, just drop it in the community and somebody will be there to help you. So the support you need is there. The only thing that's required on your part is your dedication. Okay. So back to um, the slides. Cairo. Why Cairo? So we usually explain, the power of Cairo using this analogy. Okay, I think I have. Okay, somebody's hand is up, I guess. Oh, okay. Nobody's hand is up. I got a notification. Okay, so like we are saying, we usually explain what the power of Cairo using a couple of illustrations. They say maybe your country wants to explore, the space. Wants to become maybe the next Elon Musk or something like that. Want to launch stuffs into the space. So that is like actually a very very a big project, right? And it will be very very expensive. So you need to like get the best of everything, best of fuel, best of pilots, best time window. Weather can be funny at times. So you want to go in the best launch window. So now, to get started, what you do, what your company or what your country did is to get a couple of engineers and say, okay, create an algorithm that can determine the best launch window. All right. And the engineers, they go down to work. They created the program. Remember, we are working with Rust, right? With Rust programming language, because Rust is very, very efficient and amazing. But in the end, the program we have realized that we don't actually have the capacity to execute it. You can see one of our friends on the call is actually struggling to install Scab. So a situation like that, right? But then one other person, maybe Vincent, has a powerful PC or maybe computer, supercomputer. So what happened now is um you decide to like send it to a rival country. So your country don't have the requirements needed to execute that program. So what they do is send it to your rival country. So imagine America sending their program to Russia. These two are not usually friends. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So in the end, because Russia has the supercomputer, right? So we have the issue of trust. Do we trust them? Actually, that's the issue now. Remember, we are working with Rust. You can see the scarf there, and this is your rival country. So your country sends the program to your rival country to execute. In the end, the rival country will now send back the proof to you. Now the problem is, how do we know that the rival country did not embed something like a malware, to maybe use it to attack our own defense mechanism or whatever, right? So with Rust, there's no way you can verify the integrity of that computation, right? So, but with Cairo makes it possible that when you are sending that transaction or sending the whatever they need to execute, our country, say your country has their own proof. Let me go down a bit. Maybe this is also somewhere. So, so now with Cairo, your country will send them the program to execute. That's your rival country. In the end, they will send back the proof and also the results. So if you execute the proof they send to you and it does not correlate with the proof you have, that means the program has been tampered with. Do you understand this? It's that simple. So with this kind of analogy now, we can say that your laptop has been able to keep a supercomputer in another country honest. This because the supercomputer cannot cheat. So that is the power of Cairo programming language. It gives you that power to keep every single execution honest. Like everybody will have to be honest, truthful. I believe we all understand the analogy. Or do we need a little bit of overview? So, Favor, is your installation done? Okay. Only Favor has been like responding. What about the rest? Vicent, what's the update from your end? And okay, 91% now. Gradual process. Samuel seemed to just join us and he left as well. What about Onoma? You've been so quiet. Are you with us? All right. So let's continue. I think we are almost getting to the end of the session. Yeah. So we have this. Then we have one other illustration, but this has to do with machine learning. Now, if you have ever tried machine learning back in the day, you will realize that there are some data sets that if you want to load them onto your PC, your PC might not even find it funny. Like the thing will begin to heat up. So that is another illustration now. So you don't have enough power, like your boss told you, to generate a certain ML program for whatever, right? So, but the problem is you don't have just like synonymous to what we explained earlier, you don't have the computational requirement required to execute that program, right? So you're going to have to rely on another company. Now, company A and company B. Company B could be your rival, right? So I don't want them messing with your product. So with something like Python, Python is like the main language for ML, like, yes. So with Python, look at Python there, they will execute and send you back like the result, but there's no way to make sure that they did not mess up with your algorithm. So there's no way to verify it, right? Now, but with Cairo, they will have to send back the um, the proof and as well as the executed outcome of the program. So yeah, this is the features of Cairo. It enables verifiable computation. Remember this word computation means you are computing something. There are some computation what going on, and those are mathematical computations. But we, the developers, we don't have to worry about these computations because it has been taken care of for us under the hood. It runs on top of Cairo VM. Cairo VM here simply means Cairo virtual machine, just like you have in Ethereum, the EVM. So syntax is Rust inspired. Like I said earlier, if you are familiar with Rust, picking up Cairo will be so easy for you. But that does not mean you cannot learn Cairo on its own. So ownership modeling, is similar to what Rust have. It's strongly type, then have trace and macros. Strong type means, let me see, where is that our guy? Let me show, I believe, okay, let me, first of all, does anybody know what strong type means? Restart, please. Anybody on the call, do we know what it means when we say that a programming language is statically typed or strongly typed? Anybody? I will need your feedback. Okay, please, it's been long as what is he downloading? Okay, he's downloading Scab. Yes, and you've been on the call, you just kept quiet. Okay, so this is it. If you go through this link, let me just send it back one more time in case you didn't get it then. So if you go through this link, that's Cairo book. It's like the documentation of Cairo. Everything you need is right in this on this link. So you can see the installation section. So you click on that, and then you can read this at your leisure. You just install this. Now we said that this can only work on Linux and Mac OS. If you're using Windows, you can use WSL. I think it was said somewhere here. Was it said? Not really. It wasn't said here. But then you can actually install using WSL. Is there on your Windows? So you just run this command. I believe I did this earlier. So I had to use. Okay, the language doesn't allow. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Favor. Thank you so much. So that is what it's basically all about. Let me see if our installation is still active. Scab dash version. Okay, still there. So this is it. Okay, Favor already helped us, so there's no need trying to. I'll still show us anyways. I'll still show us what it means to be a statically typed language, what it's all about. So we can actually use Cairo outside of Starknet. It is a general programming language. It's not like Solidity that is specifically designed for smart contracts. So you can think of Cairo as Python. You can write smart contracts with Python. You can do ML with Python. You can do data science, deep learning, whatever. So many things you can actually achieve with Python. So Python is a general purpose programming language. Same thing happens with Cairo. Cairo is a general purpose programming language. So you can use it outside of Starknet. Now check this out. No need to know ZK. So like I said, people like myself and yourself that hate maths, we don't have to disturb ourselves, about the mathematical whatever that is going on under the hood. We just write our programs and contracts and we'll have good time. Okay. So now with Cairo, remember what we said earlier, it can be used outside of Starknet. So it means you can write Cairo programs and as well as smart contracts. Now, let's follow what we have here. Program simply sort of instruction written in Cairo programming, it's just like saying 1 plus 1, 2. By the way, I think I need to instantiate a program so that I can show us what the program looks like. So to start a new project, what you use is you use Scab. Remember, Scab is the package manager. Scab new, call it new project. Hit enter. Now we have two options. You can either choose Starknet Foundry or Cairo Test. Now, if you're writing a smart contract, it is advisable you choose Starknet Foundry. But if you're writing basic programs that you are not going to deploy on Starknet, you choose Cairo Test. So for now, we are going to be choosing Cairo Test. I'll hit enter and a project is created for us right here. So what I'll do now is cd into the new project. Just confirm everything is in place. So I'll open this, open our SRC folder. Now this is what a program looks like, right? So statically typed. Remember we say it's strongly typed. Let me increase my font so that we can see. All right, so you can see this is U32. We are trying to say that this guy here, A, is of type U32. So B is of type U32 as well. So that is what it's all about. This is test, how you write test. That's just trying to test the program we have here. Okay, so let's go back to our slide presentation. Now, key points for programs. Remember, what we have here is a program. Programs, their main entry point is this function main. So if I should take away this guy here, this guy is not working. Why? Why are you not working? Okay, let's just do it one by hand. I don't know why my command / is not working. So you can see this. Now it's lagging. If I try running this program, I will run into an error. I say scab Cairo run. So what is he saying? Alias attributes. So let me just, I don't know what it's trying to do. Let me, okay, I didn't take this out completely, sorry. Okay, so I try running the program one more time. There's an error I'm waiting to, like I'm hoping to see. Main, say main. You see that? Function with suffix this is looking for main and it could not see main. Now main is like your entry point. I think that's what we're trying to say here. In the second, every Cairo program must always include main. That's the main entry point. It's like the door to your room. So without the door, you can't have access to your room. So every program must have the main functionality. Now, another thing about programs, they are stateless. Forget about the big grammar. It simply means they don't have access to Starknet virtual machine. Like you cannot deploy them on Starknet. That's it. All right. You can do your basic computations with them, but you cannot deploy them. I believe this is clear. Let me just confirm with us. Are we all on the same page? All right. All right. All right. So now, but remember, we said there must be a main. So if we include the main, let's see what happens. We have our program must have a main. Let's see what. Then I run the program one more time, and then suddenly everything is successful. You can see that it is successful. So that's amazing. Going back to what we have here, I believe this slide is taken care of. This is like writing your first program. Just like you can see here, we are saying call me. We are trying to like get a number. Here we are printing that number to the console, and then in our main we are calling the function below. So just like it's that simple. So I can easily clean whatever I have here, and then we start with maybe function call me. I would say this call me should take something like a norm that is of type. Let's use U32, and are we returning anything? Let's not return anything just yet. Come down here, we say print. Oh, I'm not getting my auto completion. That's crazy, man. Print line is a macro, so I'll say uh, the number. The norm is, I think this will work. We have the placeholder, and then we have number captured down here. We end the process, and then we close the. I hope this is correct. Is something not? Why is it still highlighting error for me somewhere? So you can actually hover over these things and also get the error message. This will help you to like to debug your program. So to now to call the function we have there, say fn main. Remember, main is ever present. So we have main, and then we call me is the function we're trying to call. And we're going to call this guy with 5. Okay, so we house this down here. Print line. Why is it complaining? Missing this. I have everything I need. Why is it complaining? Let me just run the program and see what happens. Okay, there's actually a serious issue. Print line. Okay, I've seen it. So this guy here, yeah. So we're expecting to see 5 printed. Hopefully we get that. If not, we investigate. So you can see here the number we printed is 5. So we have successfully written our first Cairo program. I think that's amazing. Is anybody following so far? Favor, have you been able to? Okay, awesome. Yeah, Favor. We are celebrating this milestone. So, Favor, were you able to finish the installation? And also, Onoma, were you able to get something started?
Good
Okay.
evening.
Why?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good evening. So, what's good?
I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, I joined, like I didn't join
at the beginning of the meeting. Although from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
link I've checked, I am using VS Code actually, so I downloaded the Cairo 1.0 extension,
Yes,
and
yes. You need to download that as well. I heard what happened.
they said I should enable the language server and the scab. I've done that, and I'm trying to create a new
Yeah.
project, but it keeps bringing
Okay.
up this error of the term scab is not recognized as the name of a commandlet.
Did
So
you restarted your
my
terminal?
vehicle, yeah, yeah, I did,
Yeah.
I
Did
did,
you?
I did.
Which OS are you working with?
Windows.
Are you on WSL, like in that particular environment?
No, 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 no.
So you need to be in WSL before you can access SCAB.
Okay,
Okay. Yes,
okay,
you can't
okay,
do it. You can't do it with what is it called on native Windows. It doesn't work
okay.
there. Yes, that's awesome. I'm
All
not
right.
sure it's done. It's writing. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So just try starting your WSL and then run it from that particular terminal. Yes, and make sure you are on Bash and not on CMD or other, funny terminals. All right. So he said, just try, try instantiating a new project. First of all, just check for the version, scab version. Scab dash version. So this is how you confirm your installation. Yes, confirm your installation. If some figures are displayed, that means you're on the right track actually. Okay. So let's go back to our slide. I think we are almost done, almost done. Then we have data types. Um every I'm not going to read all these things. So we already said that Cairo is statically typed. You have access to these slides, so you can read it much later. And so basically, we have two main data types in Cairo. We have the scalar types and then the compound types. Now, scalar type are like single values, and we have a list of them. You know what you have true, like for booleans, you have true or false. You have something called short strings. Also, you have integers and then field elements. Okay, let's go on to the next. Um, Say every value in a program holds data. So, okay, Favor, were you able to get a version? Wow, what is it saying? Did you restart your terminal? Installation failed. Your network is very, very bad actually. So maybe you can still try again or change your network. Yes, just try and reinstall because I think it's your network. This doesn't take much time to achieve. It takes like a few seconds, you're done. But I think it's your network that's messing with you. But you shouldn't let that stop you from building, right? It's part of the process. Or you can change your network as well. Okay. I switched. Okay, we're using Windows. Are you using Windows? Okay, yeah. You can actually install using Brew as well. But then you have to install Brew, then ASDF, and then you get this. Or just that using this startup command makes things a lot easier for you. Like, yes, awesome, Favor, awesome. So once you use startup, it installs everything for you. I can show you that. You know, ASDF dash version. So you can see we have a version here, and this also installs Starknet Foundry for you. You can confirm your installation by using sn forge dash dash version. You can see version 0.40.0. So that's one good thing about StackUp. It's, it bundles everything for you. Like, it makes your work a lot easier. So, but then you can still use other method of installations if this doesn't work for you. So, most important thing at the end of the day is building. So, what about Blessed? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Blessed, are you doing anything like, or were you the one that said you're not with your PC?
No, 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 sir. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. So, what's the issue like?
Okay, I don't
Are you
know
with
if
your,
somebody asked question on my behalf. I didn't ask anything actually. I didn't ask
okay,
any
but
question.
so far, are you understanding? Like, do you understand anything we've done so far?
Yes, I'm getting it a little bit, even though I'm just, network is just putting me on and off. So anyone I get, I just put it down. It's not like I grabbed everything full.
Yeah, that's the good thing. The call is actually recorded, so you can always go back and get the things you are unable to get right now. But meanwhile, were you able to install your SCARB?
No, no, please.
Are you with your PC or you're not with your PC currently?
No, I don't have PC now.
Okay, okay, okay. If you go through the video, I believe you will see the installation process and yeah. Okay. So Favor, were you able to like execute your run your first Cairo project and was it successful now? I think we are almost at the end of the session. I'll just introduce you to something called what is it called again? Okay, you're still stuck on that. Stack lanes. Yes, stack lanes. I will introduce us to something called stack lanes. Now, stack lanes is like a bunch of exercises to actually help you get started with Cairo. Once you are able to like finish the programs or the exercises within stack lanes, you are like you're already there. You're a big time Cairo dev. Okay, so but I will show you how to work with it, and then you can actually take it home and finish it up. I think it's about 53. The last time I checked, I don't know if they've added more exercises currently, but it used to be like 50 something exercises. So how it's operates is it starts small, very, very small, small things, then it's grow. Let me just show you stack links. Stack Starknet. Now, Starknet, we have two versions of it. You have the online version. So if your network is good, you can use the online version of Starknet. So this is like a bootcamp coming around. You can decide to register, but personally, I'm not registering. Then you can connect your GitHub to keep track of your progress. So start coding. You just click on that. You can skip connecting your GitHub account and then you see something like this. So you can actually use the offline version as well. So this one you have to set it up on your PC. So you have a bunch of commands here. And here it's been added as well, the online version, and then you can use the CLI version as well. So it depends on your choice, right? So if you want to use the offline version, I think, yeah, you click on this Starknet CLI something, and then you follow the instructions here. So you run this set of commands, clone. I think you need Rust before you can actually, just this command, the way they are here, it's not so difficult. You follow the command step by step, and then eventually you will land on something like this as well. Okay, so let's solve a few exercises. But before then, let me confirm. Okay, let's just explain what field element is, and data type. Then we just quickly, I will cover this. So by default, everything in Cairo is a field element. It is what? A felt. So, we said underneath it's maths. Mass is what is taking control, like everything underneath is mass. And for Cairo to achieve these mathematical, computations, it uses this special type of data called felt 252, right? So it ranges from 0, this is X, the numbers you can have from 0 to P, where P is a very, very large prime number defined as this 2 raised to power 251 plus 17 times 2, this is a very, very large number. You can see that. So your felt element must fall in between 0 and P. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, wherever P stops are felt, they are field elements. Now, but the thing about working with felt is they are kind of tricky. You might tell it to do A and it will end up doing something else for you. Let me give you an instance. So if I go back to our program, I think this is it. So right here, I say that I want my number, let that number, the number to be, want to divide it by 2. Then in the end, let's just save it to something. Okay. Say let outcome equals this, right? So instead of printing this, I'll just print the outcome. So right here we'll be dividing 5 by 2, and then we'll be outputting it. Let's see what happens. Remember, this is U32, and U32 is under integers. This is an integer, unsigned integer. You can see we have U8, U16, U32. Then we have the integers. That's the I8. This is unsigned integer, U, unsigned integer. And this is integer itself. So the basic difference between unsigned integer and integers is integers has both negative and positive values, whereas unsigned integers are only positive values. All right, so if I run the program one more time now, let's see what happens. Let me just go back and run scab Cairo run. So we're expecting to get, well, I don't know what we get, but let's see what happens. Okay, we're able to get 2. Meanwhile, Cairo does not deal with fractions, so it will give you the round number.
Remember, when you divide 5 by 2, what you get is 2.5. So the 0.5, especially for this guy, unsigned integer, it does not take care of it. But what if we change this to I32? Let's see what happens. I32. These are the integers now. Let's see what happens. I don't know what will happen, but we'll find out in a bit. So for both I32 and like integer and unsigned integer, it can only give you the integer part of your quotient, whatever. But if we change this to a felt, remember you can actually change data types, right? Felt 252. So actually this, we cannot output this. What is it saying? Has no implementation. So you can't even divide it because it does not handle something called overflow and underflow. That's one of the downside of using felt. Now, while you're writing your Cairo programs, it's advisable you use other data types. You only use felt if that is your the only available data type. If not, to avoid issues like this. But if we change this to maybe multiplication, I hope that will work. You can see that this works. And if we change to addition, it should work as well, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, it works. So, and but you usually encounter this issue with division because it does not handle something called especially when you have remainder. Like we can see here, that this is 2. It does not give us 2.5. So Cairo is a bit technical, right? It's trying to prove something, and it has to be a valid program. So if you want to use felt, please keep in mind that there are some downsides. Let me see if it's covered here. It was not covered. I'm saying it's not here in the slide. Due to the the uniqueness, you cannot divide because some division might be funny. That's why it's saying here when we added this, what is it called? You see, we have an error. Trait has no implementation in context of this division. So you cannot divide felt. But if we change this to maybe something like U8, that's assigned integer 8, everything is fine now because this U8, has some added features. Okay. But one thing again, you have to understand that under the hood of U8, they are still felt. I hope we are not confused. Or are we confused? Are we confused? Okay, yes. So it's very simple. Everything in Cairo is felt, but with that felt, the engineers were able to create some things out of felt and then add additional flavor, additional features on top of them so that we can easily work with them. All right. So back to the slide. So I think we've discussed integer types, and then you have U256, So another thing you have to understand that under the hood is actually comprising of two, the low and the high. So you're bringing two data types together to achieve this. And yes, I think I've used this guy here, but I didn't explain what it is. Let me see. When I use let is how you define a variable. Okay, in Cairo, you use the keyword Let's. I did not even explain so many things here. So forgive me. I will do that right away. If you want to define a function, you use fn. The fn keyword is how you define, say, tell the compiler, okay, I want to define a function. Use the fn keyword. Then the name of your function, in this case, is call me. Your function can have parameters, it might not have, that's okay. In this case, we have parameters, num, and it's of type what? U8. So you can hover over these values and you get some information about it. And here we define a variable. So we want this variable to hold the outcome of this operation here. Right here, we are only trying to print the outcome of whatever we have in line 2. So this is how you output values. So here also we have a function. Now we call it main. Remember what main is? Main is our entry point, right? Point of entry into our program. Now main is not taking any parameter. So yeah, here we are calling the function we created up here, and we're supplying the arguments. And that's that, actually. That's that. So let me see. Do we have something remaining here? So that's what I'm trying explaining here, how to define a variable. Now it's also, you understand, your variable can be mutable or it can be unmutable. Just hold that there, okay? Hold that for now. We'll get back to that in a second. So numeric operations, I think we already covered this. I showed you addition, subtraction, remainder, modulo. So let's see if that remainder guy will work here. So we're expecting to get, if I should run this program, I think we're expecting to get 1. I hope I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, yes. So I wasn't wrong. We're expecting to get 1 and we got 1. So if we change this to 4, for example, now what are we supposed to get? Can somebody on the call help me? If we change it to 4, what can we get? Onoma, have you been able to install your scab? Somebody should help me, please. Are we still here on the call? Maybe we don't go cook beans. Yes, I asked the question. Or were you not listening? Onoma,
Please,
are
could
you
you
still there?
repeat the question?
Okay. The question, like, it's not so far-fetched. It's just like, if I should run this program now, what should be the output? We are testing remainder, quotient, is it quotient? Remainder operator. So what should, and we are adding 4, we're calling on 4 here. So what's going to be outcome here? What are we going to output? If I run scap Cairo run, what should be the output? So we should be rounding off. I think we have tried. Are you there? 2. Okay. Any other person? Is that your final answer? Sorry. Okay. All right. You're forgiven, bro. You're forgiven. But let's see if the compiler will forgive you as well. Oh, you and the compiler, you're having good time. I can see, right? So you guys are having good time. All right. So this is what it's all about. Do you have any of that? Okay. Operations. Okay. Remember that is modulo. We've seen it in action. Then Boolean, talking about true or false. So you can say let's yes, let yes equals okay. Now I'll set it to be true. Now remember we said that Cairo is statically typed, but right now we did not specify the type here. So the good thing now is that sometimes the compiler can infer a type for you. So if we hover over this, you can see that it's of type what? Bool. But if you want to take care of it yourself, you just add is of type what? Bool here. And everything still works. All right, so this is what Boolean, it can be false as well. False. And that's it. That's it, basically. So short strings. Okay, now I must tell you this. At some point, Cairo is actually a very, very brand new programming language. There used to be Cairo 0, then currently we have Cairo 1. Cairo 1 was developed I think like 2 years ago, it's still very, very new. So back then there was nothing like strings, right? So for you to represent a string, you use something called short string. So something like let's short string equals, you represent it using single quotation like this. So you call it short string like this. So, but the thing about this is, remember this is a felt. You can see it's called felt. So you can actually write it here as well, felt 252. It's a felt. So the thing about this is you can't have more than that's one character. So if I should increase this to this guy, you see now there's an error. Now if we hover over this, it does not fit. So that one characters at most is what you can store in a short strings. But if your program requires you to store more than 31 characters, that is where you have to use byte arrays. Byte arrays, you can store as many as you want. And also, with byte arrays, you use double quotation mark, like let byte, that my byte is bad. I think byte, byte equals, you can use this and say byte, it's, anyhow. Then we close it up. What is it saying? Annotation needed. So you can see now we need annotation in this case. That's how it works. I think it's byte, hopefully byte array. Yeah. So this is it. Annotation needed. So you can have as many as you want. Remember the difference. For short strings, you use single quotation. For byte arrays, you use double quotation mark. Okay, I believe that is clear. Do you have any question? Don't worry, we are almost at the end. I'll just show you Starknets, so that you can build on what we've learned so far. So you have tuple as well. Tuple is like one of the compound type. So we have the tuple one of the good things about tuple is this, it can hold multiple data types together. It can hold both your felt, your U8, and bool together. Everybody can bring them together. And then in the end, you can do what they call, what is it called again? I've forgotten what we call it in JavaScript. But let me just show you what it's all about. Maybe by then the name will come back to me. So if I should define a tuple, I say let's let's first of all say to confirm to have a boolean u8. So you can see we are combining different data types, and then we say is equal to, we open, this is a tuple. You can call here true 7 and then maybe 8. Yeah, can see that. So let's save it, say maybe toop. Toop is no. So yeah, this is it. I think you can actually clean this as well, and everything will be fine. You can see there's no error. So we can now, get these values one by one. What's the name again? Can somebody help me? Typecasting, no green, remember that stuff. Oh, wow. Too much groceries. Don't they forget things? Why I shouldn't forget. Okay, the thing is here is you can actually access these elements by saying let's tube, we capture it under, okay, let me say like this. You can call it, the first one is boo, right? So say boo in this way, and then we have you it this like these are like variables, okay? Then felt, how you felt, then I would say is equal to toop. So you can see that it works, right? This way you can easily access the values we have here. So till now I've not even remembered what it's called. Nobody on the call wants to help me. That's not fair, man. Not fair at all. So, but we are able to grab the values. We're able to, give ourselves access to these values here. That is how you use it. Okay. Do we still have anything important? Now, this is about conversions. For you to convert from one type to the next, you use something called into and try into. Into is when you're converting from something small to something big. See that? Is that simple? If you're moving from something small to something big, you use into. But if you're moving from something big to something small, you have to try. Remember the keyword, say try. So you first of all have to try and confirm if it's actually if the conversion will work. So you try and see if that will work. Then in the case that it doesn't work, use the unwrap handles it. So you have to first of all try. Look at the examples we have here. Moving from U8 to U16, you can see that U8 is obviously less than U16, right? So we use into. That's very simple. If you're moving from U16 to U32, 32 is bigger than 16, so we use into as well. But if you're moving from something like U16 to U8, remember that 8 is less than 16. That's why we have to use try into. So we have to first of all try and confirm if the number here we fit into our destination. All right. So then we have the overview. Integrity. Integrity simply means doing the right thing even when nobody is watching, right? We can verify the computations. It's powerful and flexible. Prevent cheating. We already said this, that small computer can keep a bigger computer honest. All right. So far, I don't think we have any question, but if we do have, now could be a very good time to. I'm still trying to understand what you you need. What do you mean you're still trying to understand what I need? Can you just unmute and ask the question? We are rounding off now. We're rounding up. I mean, our time is fast spent. So while he does that, I'll simply show us how Starklinks work. So it's a bunch of these guys here are all exercises that you can do. All right. So first of all, you can once you want to start, you read the instructions here. Say this exercise doesn't do anything yet, but it still compiles. Then say Cairo file getting run needs main. So keep in mind we already talked about this. And then the other exercises will require you to do something. So if you want to compile, you say compile. And then you wait for the outcome. Hopefully it works. So see, great. Then move on to the next. This is how you work with this. Now, this one says this exercise won't compile. Can you make it compile? Can somebody help us here? Remember, you can actually get a hint by clicking on this get hint button. So, Favor, can you help us?
Okay. Please, could you show me the exercise
Yeah,
itself?
of course. This is it. So, what can we do to
There,
make this compile? Yeah.
there's no main function, I guess.
All right. That's perfect. Awesome. So we just add function main. That's it. Nope. I did something bad. All right. And I'll compile. Let's see what happens. Why is it taking time? Is it my network? Okay, so it compiles. We move on to the next exercise. Now, this is all about teaching you how to declare variables. If we compile now, we're actually going to get an error because this guy is not defined. It's currently undefined. So, why is this thing taking so much time to load? So we have an error here. Invalid left-hand side assignment. So, okay. So we have to assign this add let keyword here, and then we compile one more time. So that's basically what this exercise is all about. And if you get stuck, you can go, you can use Cairo book, and you know, Cairo book will help you. Wow, this is taking so much time. Well, basically we are done with the section. Okay, finally it's here. So we'll move on to the next exercise. You see, it's very, very simple and friendly as well. You can get hints, click on get hints, and it tells you what to do. And there is a link to Cairo book as well down here. You can easily navigate to that link and you read the documentation. After doing that, you can come back and then continue with your exercise. So can somebody tell us what to do here? We are going to be stopping right here. Trevor, can you come to my rescue?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going back there.
Okay. I think at this juncture, we know that x is an unsigned integer. Okay, so I guess
Yes.
it's going to be let x, and then we'll have that colon to be u. Since it's 10, I think u8 or u16 will suffice.
Okay, you are saying that we should just have something like U8, like this.
Yes, and I think we should also assign it.
Okay, assign it. What should we assign to it?
10
Okay,
or
10.
any
Let's
number at
assign
all.
10. Any,
Let's try
number.
10.
Thank you, man. Thank
Any
you so
positive
much.
number.
Yes, any positive number, and then we compile. It's very, very simple. So if it's 10, the first guy here gets printed. That's if it's not 10, this other block, else block gets printed. So, and this is, by the way, how you control flow. We didn't get to it because I mean, I think we were supposed to be here for like 1 hour, but we're already like almost 2 hours. So it's that simple actually. And then, meanwhile, you must have every value must you can't leave it undefined. You get that? So you must define it because at compile time, the compiler needs to know what is going on. So, but I think in JavaScript, you can actually write this without, giving it a value. Let's say they call it undefined or something like that. So, but in Cairo, at compile time, every value must be known. All right, so go to the next exercise. So you can continue from here and continue having your fun. All right, so this is where we draw the curtain for the quick introduction into what Cairo Starknet is all about. Victoria, okay, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Emmanuel Priceless, you're just joining us. Victoria, are you there? Okay, now stop presenting. Victoria, are you still with us or are you cooking beans? So everybody, I think that's the end of the session actually. So you've been there and you were hiding. So Favor, were you able to get your program to run?
Yes, I was able
Oh,
to
that's
install. I was able to create a what's it called? I was able to create a Hello World program.
awesome. And it's outputted to your terminal.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Were you able to, like, when you run Scab Cairo run, did you get hello world on your terminal? Okay, if you're talking right now, I cannot hear. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Our time here was not wasted after all. So what about Onuma? Were you able to get something out of what we did today?
Uh, the whole thing is a bit still confusing, but I'll just uh, I think this meeting is recorded, so I
Yes,
think
it's recorded.
I'll have to
But were you
just
able
leave
to
it.
install Scab on your WSL?
That's what I'm doing now. I've been able to install the WSL, but to launch it is the problem. But I'm trying to get the Scab installed.
To launch it, all you have to do is run it as the administrator. Click on
Yeah, I've
WSL, then
done
run
that,
it as the
but
administrator.
it's still not being recognized. I don't know what that thing means. Yeah, I'll just have to battle
Wow.
with it and find out what the issue is.
Or you can use code space. You can use code space, the one I use here. It's a virtual working environment. So you can
Code
use
space.
this. Yeah, once you have a GitHub, you can easily connect to code space and work with it. So
Okay.
yeah, all right. What about, I saw somebody, Emmanuel Priceless. Did you follow? Were you able to get anything out of the session? All right, all right. I think he's not with us. So Victoria, over to you. Victoria, are you still there?
Hi, Fenna. Sorry.
All right. We are done.
Thank you so
actually,
much for your
like,
time.
of course.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope we all got value because I think I had you guys favor Hanuman and Emmanuel. We all got value. It was 2 hours of loaded value. So thank you so much, Fenna. I really appreciate this. So guys, I'll make available the recording like in some hours from now. Just in case you need to like recap. I think I had Hanuman say something like that. So I would upload the recording and share with you guys. All right then. Thank you again. So good night, everybody.